Hey everybody, it's Joshua Fields Milburn from the Minimalists. Welcome back to Living Room Conversations. We are living room adjacent this morning. I'm out on my balcony, and today's question is from KJ. KJ asks, what is your budget for clothing? Well, my budget for clothing, I think it kind of depends on our circumstances, right? I think that, first let's just get this out of the way. The average American throws away 88 pounds of clothes a year. 88 pounds of clothes a year. So what does that tell me? That tells me that we probably have way more clothes than what we need. I wrote an essay recently called Essential, Non-essential, and junk, and it sort of talked about the things that we truly need, the things that are essential in our lives, and I'll put a link to this down in the show description as well, the video description I should say, the things that are truly essential. And one thing that is essential to us is clothing, right? However, the amount of clothing that we have varies radically by individual. What I can tell you now is I probably own about 2% of the clothing that I once owned, but that's because I had an oversized hoard of clothing. I had a full walk-in closet that was just stuffed full of clothes. I had an additional sort of non-walk-in closet that was half full of my stuff and half full of my former spouse's stuff, and she also had her own walk-in closet, and so we had just all this excess clothing. And here's the sad part, is most of it we didn't wear, and I think the reason we didn't wear it is because we didn't really enjoy a lot of the clothes that we had. We had, we bought something that was sort of an aspirational piece of clothes, right? So I would buy this shirt, this beautiful orange sweatshirt that looked great on the mannequin that was wearing it at the store, and I aspired to look the same as this sort of mannequin, but of course when I tried it on, when I got home, it didn't look good on me, so it was relegated to the back of the closet. Now, I think that our budget for clothes, because clothes are necessary, it's important to have a budget for clothes, and I think that budget should be really close to $0 if we're in debt. So if we're in debt, we probably have all of the clothes that we need, and we can go without purchasing new clothes until we get out of debt. In fact, I wrote a long essay about getting out of debt. I'll put a link to that in the show description as well. The 5-step plan that I worked on to get myself out of debt. And what was important was to stop getting into debt, right? Often the things we buy with credit cards. We buy with money that we don't have, and that money can be better used to help get us out of debt, pay off the student loan debt, and to pay off the credit card debt and the mortgage debt and all these other debts that we may have. And then once we're out of debt, I think it's important to realize what clothes are going to add value to our lives. As a minimalist, all of my clothes are my favorite clothes, and what I mean by that is I don't have any of that aspirational clothes anymore. If I don't wear something within a 90-day period, I tend to get rid of it. I have a friend named Courtney Carver. She runs a project called Project 333, and what she does with that is she helps people identify the 33 items that they're going to wear most over the next 3 months. So 333, 3 months, 33 items. Now, I'm not saying that's the appropriate amount of items for you to wear. It may be, but what it does is it helps you test your limits. It helps you figure out via this temporary deprivation what things you will truly get value from, and what are those things that you're holding on to just in case you're going to need them someday in some non-existent future. So my budget for clothing now is pretty simple. When something wears out, I replace it. I often buy things used or gently used off of sites like eBay or maybe even a local thrift shop. But I also invest in clothes that are going to last a longer time. The pants that I wear from a company called Mission Workshop, they're a company based out of San Francisco, and their clothes work really well for me. But it's really important not to get caught up in brands, because the brand of t-shirt that I'm wearing, which happens to be a Mission Workshop t-shirt today, it may not work for you. At my size, I'm 6'2", 165 pounds, so that may not work for you. In fact, Ryan, the other minimalist, he is a much bigger, bulkier, more muscular guy than I am, so the clothes that I wear won't necessarily work for him either. So don't get caught up in brands. Certainly avoid getting caught up in the hype, and I like to avoid getting caught up in the trends. Now, that doesn't mean that everything that you own should be a black shirt and black pants. That's great if that's what you want, but if you want all the colors and striped purple and pinks and the bright colors that work well with your personality, then so be it. Get the clothes that you feel good in, have a budget that is appropriate for your lifestyle, and replace the clothes when they need to be replaced, as opposed to just buying new clothes to follow the new trend. That's what I would recommend in terms of budgeting. All right, if you have a question for these living room conversations, then leave it below in the comment section on YouTube down here. And if you like these answers, please subscribe. You can get more answers in the future. All right, y'all. See you tomorrow.